Stop. Put down your camera. Because everything you think you know about the future of photography is about to be shattered. This isn't just an update. This isn't just an iteration. This is the A7V, and the leaks we've gathered, the whispers from the deepest corners of the industry, paint a picture of a camera that will change the game so completely, you'll be forced to rethink your entire kit. For months, we've been tracking the breadcrumbs. The tiny, unverified filings. The cryptic posts from usually reliable sources. We've filtered the noise, and what we're left with is a bombshell. A roadmap to the single most anticipated camera release of the decade. And what Sony is doing with the A7V, it's insane. It's radical. It's what you've been waiting for. If you're a professional, a filmmaker, or just a serious enthusiast, you need to hear every single word of the next 30 minutes. We're not just reading spec sheets here. We're analyzing the implications of these leaks and how they will directly impact your work, your workflow, and your wallet. We're going beyond the megapixel count and talking about a paradigm shift. You are about to enter the confidential zone. This is the untold story of the Sony A7V. Let's start with the heart of the beast, the component that dictates everything, the new sensor. The sensor, speed, resolution, and the global shutter whispers. For context, let's briefly look back. The A7 III was the benchmark. The A7 IV was refinement. But the A7V, the leaks suggest a leap, not a step. The most concrete, yet still unverified, leak points to a 40-megapixel full-frame sensor. Yes, 40 megapixels. This isn't a surprise. It's a necessary evolution to compete with rivals, but it's the kind of sensor that has us scrambling. Sources indicate a new generation stacked BSI sensor. Now, we know what stacked sensors do. They bring speed. But this new architecture, coupled with a completely redesigned Bion's XR processing engine, is rumored to deliver readout speeds that are, frankly, baffling. We're talking about rolling shutter virtually eliminated at all frame rates, even at 40 megapixels. But the real industry-shaking rumor is the one about the global shutter mode. This is the leak that makes the engineers at competitor brands nervous. Now, we're being cautious here, but the murmurs suggest that while it may not be a true global shutter sensor across the board, the speed is so extreme that for specific, lower-resolution crops or for certain high-speed video modes, the effect will be indistinguishable from a true global shutter. No skew, no jello, just perfectly captured, high-speed motion. Think sports photographers. Think commercial shooters. This is a workflow revolution. And with that 40-megapixel resolution comes a new level of dynamic range. We're hearing whispers of up to 16 stops of dynamic range in the base ISO. If that holds true, your ability to pull information out of deep shadows and bright highlights will be unprecedented in this category of camera. It means cleaner files, better color depth, and ultimately, less time in post-production. It's a massive, time-saving, image quality upgrade. This 40MP sensor isn't just more pixels, it's smarter pixels, delivering performance that defies its resolution. So, we have speed, we have resolution, and we have dynamic range. But how is the camera going to handle all of this data? That leads us directly to the brain of the operation, the Bion's XR 2.0. Bion's XR 2.0, the AI-driven brain. The A7V will reportedly house not one, but two of Sony's next-generation Bion's XR processors. This dual-processor architecture is the only way to facilitate the rumored data rate. Think of it like a supercomputer for image processing. It allows for simultaneous operations that simply weren't possible before. The key feature enabled by this processing power is the AI-driven autofocus. The A7iV's autofocus was incredible. The A7V's is rumored to be telepathic. Leaked code snippets point to a vastly expanded recognition library. We're not just talking about eyes, faces, and animals anymore. Sources suggest the A7V can recognize and lock onto a huge list of objects: cars, planes, trains, specific types of insects, and even complex geometric shapes. It's context-aware tracking. You won't just tell it to track a person, you'll tell it to track the person holding the specific color briefcase in the crowd. The processing power is dedicated to making the camera smarter than the photographer, tracking subjects with a tenacity and accuracy that is terrifyingly good. This sheer processing muscle also spills over into image quality in less obvious ways. We're talking about next-generation computational photography. Imagine noise reduction that uses AI to perfectly differentiate between genuine image detail and digital noise in low light. It's not just a blur filter, it's smart data interpolation. The leak suggests that the low-light performance at high ISOs, say ISO 12,800 or 25,600, will be cleaner than what the A7 IV could produce at ISO 6,400. That is a truly revolutionary step for wedding, event, and documentary photographers. So, the engine is set, the brain is tuned. But a powerful engine needs a sturdy, cooled chassis. And this is where we get into the major redesigns. The body and ergonomics leaks, a radical redesign. The A7 series body has been fine, functional, but often criticized for its small grip, slightly stiff buttons, and poor heat dissipation. The A7V leaks indicates Sony has finally listened to the years of community feedback, resulting in a physical overhaul that is as significant as the internal one. The most noticeable change is the grip. Sources confirm a deeper, more ergonomic grip profile, making it more comfortable for users with large hands and for balancing large telephoto lenses. This isn't just a minor tweak. It's a full commitment to comfort and balance that professionals demand. Next, the viewfinder and LCD. The electronic viewfinder, or EVF, is rumored to receive a substantial upgrade to a 9.44 million dot OLED panel. This is an absurd level of detail, providing a lag-free, bright, and near-optical experience. The days of struggling to see fine detail in bright sunlight are over. And the LCD screen? It's finally getting a higher resolution and, crucially, a redesigned tilting and articulating mechanism. It retains the flexibility of the full flip-out screen, but with added stability and a slightly wider rotation angle. Small detail, massive user experience improvement. But perhaps the most compelling piece of physical information comes from the cooling leaks. To handle the incredible data rates from the 40MP sensor and the dual Bions processors, Sony has reportedly integrated a new passive cooling system into the chassis. This is not a fan, but a highly efficient heat sink design, possibly utilizing materials only recently available. This system is rumored to allow the A7V to shoot its high-resolution, high bitrate video, which we'll get to next, for extended periods without thermal warnings. This addresses one of the single biggest pain points of the A7 IV and A7 SII. If these cooling rumors are true, the A7V transforms from a great hybrid camera into a formidable, reliable video workhorse. This redesigned body isn't just about comfort. It's about eliminating failure points. It's about building a fortress around a technology. The video revolution, 6K, 12-bit, and the codec wars. Now, let's talk about the features that will make the A7V the absolute darling of the filmmaking community. The leaks here are the most controversial because they push the A7V dangerously close to their cinema line, the FX cameras. The big headline, 6K 60 frames per second oversampled from the 40MP sensor. Yes, 6K at 60p. This is massive. It gives you the resolution for cinematic quality while providing the flexibility for slow motion or reframing in a 4K timeline. Furthermore, the 4K recording, which will be the primary format for most users, is rumored to be 6K oversampled 4K up to 120 frames per second, meaning incredibly sharp, detailed 4K slow motion footage with a full sensor readout. But the resolution isn't the only story. It's the color depth and the codecs. Leaks point to internal 12-bit RAW video recording. We're talking about recording cinema-level color and dynamic range directly to the camera card. This is huge. Previously, this capability was reserved for external recorders or dedicated cinema cameras. The A7V democratizes 12-bit RAW. To handle this data, Sony is rumored to introduce a next-generation version of their XAVCI codec, optimized for the Bions XR 2.0, providing insane quality in a manageable file size. For the first time, you might have the option to shoot 12-bit RAW internally or opt for a highly efficient, high bitrate XAVCI that still gives you enormous flexibility in grading. And let's not forget stabilization. The rumored active mode 2.0 ES, the dual processors, and the 40MP sensor's extra data to offer an unparalleled level of in-body image stabilization. It's rumored to be so effective that many professional handheld shots will no longer require a gimbal. This is a massive time saver for run-and-gun documentary shooters and vloggers. The IBIS is so smart, it can reportedly detect the type of lens mounted, even third-party ones, and automatically tune its correction algorithm. The video side of the A7V isn't an afterthought. It's half of the camera's identity. And based on these leaks, it's an identity that screams, cinema is coming to the hybrid market. Connectivity, storage, and the cloud. Shooting 40-megapixel stills and 6K, 60p 12-bit video requires serious infrastructure, and Sony is reportedly tackling this head-on with a complete overhaul of connectivity. Firstly, the ports. Leaks suggest a full-sized HDMI port. Yes, you heard that right. The fragile, awkward micro HDMI is reportedly gone, replaced by the robust, professional-grade full-size port that filmmakers have been begging for. This alone is a strong indicator of Sony's commitment to pro video users. Additionally, a new, faster USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 port will facilitate rapid tethering and file transfers, supporting the massive file sizes generated by the 40MP sensor. Now for storage. The A7V is widely expected to ditch the SD-only option entirely. We're looking at dual CF Express-type A slots, both supporting the fastest available read/write speeds. This is not just about speed, it's about reliability. CF Express Type A offers the sustained performance needed for continuous 6K recording and long-burst high-resolution shooting. The days of buffer-clearing delays will essentially be over. And then there's the software leak that hints at the future of workflow, enhanced cloud integration. Sony is rumored to be deepening its relationship with cloud providers, potentially offering dedicated, fast upload capabilities straight from the camera via Wi-Fi 6E. Imagine finishing a commercial shoot, tagging the essential takes in camera, and having them automatically upload to the editor's cloud drive overnight. The A7V isn't just a camera. It's a network device designed for the modern content economy. But all of this power and all of these features have to come at a cost. And that brings us to the two leaks everyone is desperate to hear: the price and the release date. The price tag and the release date game. The pricing leaks are, as always, the most difficult to verify, but the consensus among industry insiders is clear. The A7V will not be a budget camera. Given the technological leaps, the 40MP stack sensor, the dual Bions XR, 6K 60p 12-bit, the redesigned body, and the dual CF Express slots. This camera is encroaching on the territory of the flagship A1, which means the price will reflect its capabilities. The most consistent rumor places the Sony A7V body-only price point around $3,499 to $3,699. This represents a significant jump from the A7iV's launch price, but also a massive value proposition when you compare it to cameras in the $6,000 to $7,000 range that it is functionally competing with. This is Sony's new sweet spot for the high-end hybrid market. It's priced to make you hesitate before buying an A1, and it's priced to make you drop your competitor's camera. And finally, the moment of truth, the release date. The A7V has been in development for longer than its predecessors, suggesting a thorough, not rushed, engineering process. The strongest indicators point to a launch announcement event sometime in Q4 of this year, specifically late October or early November. However, the actual shipping date, the date you can walk into a store and buy one, is rumored to be slightly later, possibly a staggered rollout starting in Q1 of next year, likely February or March. This delay is expected due to the global supply chain challenges and the high demand Sony anticipates for this product. You can bet the initial batch will sell out instantly. If you want one in the first half of the year, You'll need to be ready to pre-order the second the announcement drops. The verdict: why the A7V is more than a camera. We've covered a lot of ground in the last 28 minutes. Let's quickly summarize the revolutionary core of the A7V leaks. 40MP stacked sensor, speed, resolution, and near global shutter performance. Dual Bions XR, AI-driven, context-aware autofocus that is truly next level. Redezig, Ned body, deeper grip, full-sized HDMI, and, critically, a robust passive cooling system. Cinema video, internal 6K 60p and 4K 120p oversampling with 12-bit RAW capability. The Sony A7V is not just the next camera in the series. It is Sony throwing down a technological gauntlet. It is a calculated move to force the entire industry forward. It pushes the line between a dedicated cinema camera and a mirrorless hybrid into oblivion. For the American audience, for the creatives who demand both the quality of a full-frame still camera and the flexibility of a professional video rig, this camera is going to be the undeniable choice. It's an investment in a workflow that saves you time, enhances your quality, and provides the creative freedom you need to stand out in a saturated market. These leaks are not guaranteed, but they are substantial, consistent, and come from sources that have a verifiable track record of accuracy. The evidence is mounting, and the future is clear. The only question left is, are you ready for the A7V revolution? We want to know what you think. Which one of these rumored features is the game changer for your work? Let us know in the comments below, because the discussion around this camera is just getting started. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the A7V. Stay tuned for more updates, because when the official announcement drops, we'll be here to break down every single confirmed detail. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.